Alright, in this video we're going to review the Yugoslavian Zastava M70 automatic pistol. I purchased this at AIM Surplus, and it comes with a package with a holster, 2 mags, and the pistol itself. There's not a lot of information about this gun. I believe it was made for the Yugoslavian police more than the military, so I have not found it in any of my military reference books, military firearms books. Of course, a more newer book might have it in there, but none of mine don't. So we're going to move the camera over and take a closer look at this and talk about this gun here. And I'm also going to do a field stripping, which is kind of important because the pistol did arrive in cosmoline, real heavy coat of it on there, and you're going to have to, if you order one of these guns, at least from AIM. I don't know if anyone else is importing them or offering them at this time, but you're going to have to take the gun apart and clean the cosmoline out before you can shoot it. So we'll also do a disassembly in this video. Okay, when you order this gun from AIM Surplus, what you'll receive is the pistol, 2 magazines, and a military-style flat leather holster. Now, there's a couple other reviews out there on this gun. They don't really talk about the holster much, so I will do that and get it out of the way. As you see, it's a basic holster, leather, the style, the military flap style. The holster appears to be like brand new and unissued, but I did notice when I tried putting the gun in, it started to crack. And I started getting cracking here and down on a little tab. So it's new, but it's kind of dried out. So if you get it, I strongly suggest you put some sort of oil. I put mink oil on there and tried to soak it in. That's why it turned kind of dark. Other than you can see the difference where I didn't quite get it all with the oil. And I tried soaking it, but it still makes a cracking noise and kind of shows that here in the leather. So I strongly suggest you treat the holster with some sort of preservative or oil to help moisturize it before you just start jamming a pistol in there. You might damage the holster. But it is new, so we'll set that aside now. The pistol itself, the only information I can find on it, they say it is a loosely modified version, that's how they worded it, of the M75, which is the Yugoslavian version of the Tovarek pistol. It has some similarities in looks. It is scaled down, and it does shoot the .32 ACP. This pistol is made in 2 calibers. It's made in the .32 Auto, which we have here, and it's also made in .38, which right now I can only find .32 ACP is what they're importing at AIM, and I think there may be several others. I'm not, I haven't looked. I just seen this come in from AIM Surplus. I got an email and I bought it. I don't know if any of the other surplus wholesalers are selling this gun or not. But it does come in 2 calibers, .32 ACP and .380, which I have not seen one advertised in the .380. But if I do, I may get one because it's a nice little gun. And now we're going to take a look at it as compared to a Tovarek pistol. Now I have a Romanian Tovarek, just to do a little side by side. As you can see, the 7.62 Tovarek's a larger gun. This one here is a bit smaller by comparison, and a little bit narrower, almost the same. Now, we're going to kind of review the Tova Rex, so I'll go over this design as compared to the one here in the M70. Now, all of the Tova Rex, originally the Russians designed, it did not have a manual safety on it. Okay, and to be imported into the U.S., on the Romanian ones, they come here, and you'll find some have some sort of a manual safety up here. But I believe the way the pistol was originally designed, do a safety check on this, we're not loaded, is it's a single action pistol, okay? Not double action, just single action. And I believe the way that you would put this gun safety, you know, irregardless, I know it was originally designed without a manual safety, but I think the way this gun was designed to function was when you cocked it, you get around the chamber and then you would ease the hammer down into a position right there. And now the gun, the trigger doesn't function and you can't pull the slide back. What it is it has a little half cock, or right there. And then this would lock the pistol. It locks the slide and the trigger. And what you would do is put a round in the chamber, drop it down, reholster it, and then you would draw the gun, pull back your hammer, and away you go. Now the reason I mention this is because I'm going to show you the safety features on this other pistol. Also, the other big difference is on all your Tova Rex you have this. Okay, also another difference on this is on your Tova Rex you have this clip here that you would slide off, and that is how you go in the takedown of the gun. Part of the procedure is this clip mechanism, which is not on this pistol. So now that we've reviewed the Tova Rex and its design, we're going to take a look at this little pistol here, which, by the way, this was used by the police, and I believe it had civilian sales, and it has a nickname in Yugoslavia, the Little B is what they call this gun. So, okay, the big difference here is this pistol does have and was designed with a manual safety here on the side. And also, it is a single action only. We'll clear the weapon, nothing in there. And as you can see, the hammer is just very similar to the one on the Tova Rex. But you have two safeties on this gun. One, it has a magazine safety. The gun will not fire without a magazine in it, which is one safety. And then you have your thumb activated manual safety here. So that's one thing that's a lot different than the Tova Rex. As you have the thumb safety, which is designed into the gun. It's not added on for importation to the U.S. And it has the magazine safety. Also, it's not double action, and remember when we reviewed the little half cock notch? This does not have it. Okay, it's not in there, so it's only fully cocked and then down. There is no half cock notch type safety like on the Tova Rex. It has similar style grips, plastic grips. You have slide release. It has the same front barrel bushing, much like the Tova Rex. Sights are pretty simple. The front sight is fixed on to the slide and is non-movable or adjustable. The rear sight is your standard military notch sight in a dovetail, which you could probably drift for windage. and then it has some lines here machined on the top rail, grooves, to break up the light so you don't get a glare on there. It's all metal, blued, pretty good workmanship. Okay, I did forget one thing. It does have a button style mag release, and the mags don't quite drop out freely, but there's your mag release. So, well, like I said, another thing is the lack of information. Yeah, there is a few videos out there now that show you how to field strip the pistol, which when I got this, they weren't there a few weeks ago, so we'll go over that now. And field stripping the gun. Clear the weapon, as usual. And then where you would start here, which is different in the Tovarek, is you take a punch or something. You go here to the barrel bushing and push down on that little plug for the recoil spring. And then you have to turn this, it would be if you're facing this counterclockwise, 180 degrees. And I believe the bushing itself kind of holds that in place because you got to get that lip on there. And when you come up, your bushing's out, your spring is still under tension. So now when you have the recoil spring in it, pull it forward a little. And then on this side, you can push in and remove the slide stop. Then the slide will come off with the barrel and recoil spring in it, and you have the frame and a grip. And just like the Tovarek, your hammer mechanism and that comes out in one unit. Alright, then you have your frame here, and you can get in there and clean it out fairly easily. It's a pretty simple weapon, not that complex. Now, like I said, when it's packed into cosmoline, there's an awful lot of it, and you got to get it all apart, and you have to take the grips off because that stuff is everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to take the grips off. You start with the one on the left side of the gun. Go down into the mag well here, and you take a screwdriver, and you find there'll be a notch on a piece of sheet metal. And you push it backwards, and the grip comes off. This still has some of that cosmoline. And there's your mechanism. You use the tip of a screwdriver, and you catch that notch in there, and you push it lock, open. Okay, that's what you do. You get that grip off. Now the other grip is in there like that, and you just get something, a punch or something, and slide that. Let me see if I'm doing that. Slide it down, and then your other grip comes off. And that's what it looks like there. So now you have access to the frame, and you see that, you know, there's a mainspring in there and that, and there's still some of that cosmoline oozing out of there. So that's your total disassembly of the frame and grips. Again, you got your little hammer unit firing mechanism all there. Okay, now back to the slide. What you would do is take the slide, take out the recoil spring and a little plug on the end, and I'll show you how that works and what the relationship is to the pistol. And there you have your barrel. There. Now you look in there, into the slide. I mean, one guy reviewed it and said it was kind of rough. For, you know, a military gun or something, this, actually the workmanship on this pistol I think is okay. You know, I've seen a lot worse. No real heavy machining marks or anything. And we have 406, got electric pen on the inside of the slide, which does not match the numbers on the barrel or frame or the outside of the slide. So I really don't know if that must be an assembly number or something down inside there. Now, the one thing that is different, if you notice on the slide stop and this pin that basically holds the barrel in place, you'll see that there is a notch in it. Well, on the back of this here, this assembly, there's a tab. And what this does is this flat side goes up against the barrel and the tab is vertical. And what it'll do is it locks in and captures, there's a notch in there. It locks in, and then when you put pressure on the spring and slide the barrel bushing over and lock it in place, this is what holds the slide release barrel pin type ordeal here into the frame. So that's the one design difference that is different than the Tovarek. And if you look at the barrel bushing, same thing as a Tovarek. 180-degree rotation locks it in. Now, the magazines, you will also have to clean them out. They are covered in cosmoline. And if you look at the bottom of the mag, there's a little tab up front here. And you take a screwdriver and push down, and that'll get it to where there's a plate in there that will release this floor plate of the magazine, slide it off, and then pull the spring and follower out. And you're going to have to clean these out. I'm not going to go and tear all this down. Now we'll put it back together. We'll go put our grip in. Slide that up in there. Like that. Get it locked in. This our other grip here. Then again we go down through the mag well, find a little notch, slide the lever over, and our grips are out. Take our slide our barrel back in here, and then like I said, there's a flat spot that'll ride up, you know, slide it in there, get it lined up right. And probably you'll have to pull that out a little, leave that forward, so it gives room for the slide stop pin or the cross member to go through there, and then you can lock it in there. Now once you get the grease out of this hammer mechanism, it will easily, you have to be careful, lock it in there, because if you tip the pistol over, it'll just fall right out. So we'll get that back into the frame, and it kind of just drops right down in there like that. Okay, then we get this kind of lined up. Get our slide on there. Okay, then get it back a bit. Then looking down here, you might have to move the barrel around to get it lined up. But then you just take your slide release and put it in there. And there's a hole here, which all that does is that part there, that little tab drops down into that hole. Just like that. Okay. Now I push it up, forward. And now we take our slide bushing, and if you look at the lip there on the slide bushing, if you get this down inside there compressed and start turning it, generally it should hold it on. It shouldn't fly out on you. So that's, now we're getting into the tricky part. Okay, like I said, it kind of does, I don't know, it kind of does hold it in there. All right, but you still want to, because trying to get out. Swing this around until it locks in place, and there you go. Magazine up in, and fire. So that's basically your field stripping and a general look at the gun. I think I paid all together with shipping and handling like $280 some for it from AIM. It's a neat gun. Like I said, there's not a lot of info out there about it. I didn't know anything about it, or if it even, that it even existed till I seen the ad. That's, how unusual it is. But like all mill surplus guns, when it comes in, they're reasonably priced, and once the supply dries out or they run out of them, the price will start going up on them. It's not a bad pistol. I mean, for concealed carry, if you want a budget concealed carry, all metal gun, an older style weapon. Pretty basic. It's nice with the 2 safety features in there, which I think that's what it was designed for, more of a police or civilian use than military. So some people don't like mag safeties, but again, for a budget concealed carry gun, all steel construction, even though it is in .32 auto, it wouldn't be a bad gun for around the house, because the .32 automatic, nowadays you can get hollow points and high performance ammo. I don't know how well it would work in this older design, because a lot of these old designs were made for just regular full metal jacket ball ammo. And a lot of times in the past, when people tried putting hollow point ammo in like a .32 or a .380, a lot of the older military guns kind of don't like it. But I'm not sure. Maybe it's something we can go test. I can get some different samples or different types of .32 auto ammo and try to run it through there. But I did take it out to the range and shoot it, so I'll have another video probably posted right after this of me shooting this gun. Functioned fine. There were no problems whatsoever with it when I took it out. The accuracy, I had a CZ50 in .32 auto go side by side with it. Even though the accuracy wasn't as accurate as the Czech pistol, I think I may need to work with it a little more and see, and then test it out with some other stuff. But interesting gun, nice gun. I like it, size-wise, and that could probably be used as a concealed carry, or it's just a cool old pistol, old mill surplus pistol to add to your collection if you like these old military guns. Okay, so I hope that helps you out, and that's my take on it again. The Yugoslavian Zastava M70 pistol in .32 ACP, or as they call it, the 7.65 millimeter, as the Europeans call that. All right.